Hi, welcome to this short video. Today we're going to have a look at how we set up the network connections and the LAN ports on our Edge RT7020 inside the EdgeManager. To use EdgeManager, you need to set up account through our support, and once you get those credentials, you can log into the EdgeManager. The first thing you see when you log into EdgeManager are the configurations that you're able to manage. So in this case, we're going to set up the network on the configuration called Edge RT7020 Enterprise A. And from this view, you click Edit, and then you choose LANs. And as you can see, there are no active network ports on the Edge RT7020, and that's the way it's supposed to be when it's not configured. So to add a network port or a LAN port, you just click the Add LAN button, and you come to this view. And from here, you can just tick whichever network port you want to activate. So in my case, I'm going to use port 2 for an example. And then you type in the IP address for that port, meaning that this IP address that you type in here is going to be the gateway for the entire network behind port 2. So everything you connect to port 2, if you're using DHCP, is going to get this as their gateway. The prefix length is the subnet. And in most cases, you don't have to change 24 being the default prefix length. If you click the question mark, you get a converter. And if we look at 24, that's the standard subnet mask used in almost every network. But in some cases, you need to change that, but then you will get that information from an IT department or somebody responsible for the network. And then you type in a label on that network. Under internet path, there's a few different ways the devices connected to LAN port 2 in this example can connect to the internet. So depending on which services you have bought and activated on your 7020, you have different options here. But I'm going to show you all the available options. First, you have the auto select, and that's based on if you have a connection through WAN and that you have an Ethernet cable in the WAN port, it's going to use that connection. Otherwise, it's going to use the 4G connection. You can also set it to only use a mobile connection. And in that case, it won't use the WAN port even if that's activated. And of course, you can choose to use only the WAN or the Ethernet connection as well. You can also set it to none, and this means that nothing behind port 2 in this case is going to be able to connect to the internet. So nothing you install behind this port can access the internet, but we can always access those devices from the outside through a VPN connection. I'm going to use the auto select in this example. You can choose if you want to have the DHCP server enabled or not, and you can of course set the DHCP distribution range, which IP addresses is going to be distributed to the network. So in this case, it's going to distribute IP addresses from 100 up to 254. If you want to add another connection, you just click Add LAN again. You tick the LAN port you want to configure. And in this case, I'm choosing port 1. And from here, we can set an entirely different gateway address on that network. And this means that we have segmented these networks from each other. So nothing connected to port 2 can ever access anything connected to port 1. And you put a label on that network as well. In this case, on port 1, you might want the elevators not to be able to connect to the internet. And then we can choose none on port 1. So everything behind port 2 can access the internet, but nothing behind port 1 can access the internet. There's also functionality on the RT7020 to create a switch with the LAN ports. So if you tick 2 or more ports, then all these ports are going to have the same gateway. So everything you connect to port 1, 3, and 4 in this case is going to be on the same network. And of course, if you need to access more devices, then you can just put a regular switch behind each port or a PoE switch if you want to run a CCTV network or something like that. So when this is done, you just click Save and then Program. And once that is done, you're now able to use the LAN ports on your Edge RT7020. That's it for this short video about how we configure the LAN ports on our Edge RT7020 inside EdgeManager. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. Until next time, take care.